Hey, welcome to another episode of Hashtag Elevate Your Dog Summit. And this is going to be an amazing time because for some of you guys, the weather is really bad right now. Like I know my friend Chrissy Joy up in Maryland right now is experiencing some pretty bad weather and like branches are falling and all sorts of stuff like that. So she was going to do a hiking video with you guys, but because of the bad weather, she's having to stay indoors. So I decided to show you guys some indoor workouts that you can do with your dog. So I'm going to give you guys a quick 5-minute workout that you can do with your dog that's going to help your dog get mentally and physically exercised. We're going to start with a warm-up. We're going to go through the workout, and we're going to close with a cool-down session. And that is key when working your dog out, to have a warm-up, then the workout, and then a cool-down. So we're going to give you guys games and exercises you can do with all sorts of that stuff, including which none of it is going to need any equipment at all. It's all going to be done with flat work. And I will show you guys some adaptations you can do with equipment for those that are more advanced with this stuff. So if you guys want to join me, feel free. You can do it live here right now. We are live, and I hope you guys can hear me. And if you are here today, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you have any questions along the way, go ahead and comment those down below. And thanks to those that are watching a replay as well. Feel free to comment down below and let me know how things are going for you guys. You figured it out, Carol. Carol has been awesome. She has tried to watch almost every single one of these summits, and it's been one of these live streams, and she's always messaging me, making sure she's at the right place. And Carol, I'm so glad you're here. It's awesome. It's so great to have you here. Hey, Kara, good to see you as well. Well, let's jump in here. I have a little special setup for you guys. I hope it works out well. I have 2 cameras set up so we can have a little workout area. So jumping right into the warm-up. So there is 2 exercises I'm going to show you guys for the warm-up. One is a simple spin and twist. So you're going to take your dog's nose and kind of draw a circle towards their tail. And you're going to do that at least 2 more times for your dog. And for those that might wonder, is I actually have 2 different types of treats here. I have some kibble and I have some like higher value meaty treats here. So that if I see something that's a little bit better or something that I like to or enjoy better, then I'm going to go ahead and mark and reinforce that behavior with the higher value reinforcer. So 3 to the left, and then 3 to the right, which is actually her left and her right. It's a little backwards. There we go. Good job. Good job. Excellent. Very nice. So that's a good little spin and twist warm-up exercise. And your warm-up ideally will last about 5 minutes in itself. But on a short-term basis, what we're doing today is going to be really low impact, so you don't have to worry too much. So another warm-up you can do with your dog is called leg leaps. So you're going to take treats. You're going to kind of lure through. And what I'll typically do is put treats in both hands. So I can take one hand, move across this way, and another hand, and move them across this way. Since I switched to a different camera, I am curious if you guys can still hear me, and I'm loud and clear. I hope everything is going well for you guys today. It should be all mic to one mic between the 2 cameras, so that's good. And so I'll probably try to do at least 3 figure 8s in between. Every dog is different. Now, I'm going to pop back over here real quickly and talk to you guys about that. Every dog's different. Jade is a bit more athletic. She does agility. She does dock diving. She does all sorts of great stuff. So she's very athletic already. So for her, what I'm going to show you today isn't going to be a super stretch for her. She has done a lot of working out and conditioning. But for some of your dogs, 3 spins to the left, 3 spins to the right, 3 leg leaps, that's going to be a pretty solid warm-up because they're going to be pretty physically warmed up at that point for their body if you're starting this out very beginning. So thank you, Deborah, for letting me know that you can hear me on both cameras. That's good. So now that we kind of have a quick warm-up, we're going to do some puppy sit-ups and puppy push-ups. And what we're going to do, and I will make this kind of very easy for you guys to understand, but we're going to do what's called reps and sets. So for Jade, we're going to do 5 reps of what's called puppy sit-ups or puppy squats, depending on how we look at. So let's go do that real quickly. So basically I'm going to ask for a sit and stand, and that is 1 puppy squat. I'll give a cookie for between each puppy squat, and you can give a cookie for the sit and the stand if you need to. Sit, stand, good job, sit, Stand, you're making it harder on yourself. She was putting her right foot onto my foot, making it a little harder. Sit, stand, sit, stand. Good job, very nice. So that's a little puppy squat for her. And for some of your dogs, you may have to modify that to 3 or maybe 1 or 2 if that was really hard. Ideally, I would like her to be able to keep that front still. Sit, sit, stand, like as much as possible. Those front 2 paws, not moving terribly too much for when we actually modify it for more advanced dogs. So I'm going to show you how to modify it for more advanced dogs or those that start to do this workout with your dog. I'm going to show you how to modify it to make it harder for your dogs using equipment. So we're going to actually do that real quickly 2 more times. We're giving her what's called a rest period. So we're going to give her a 30-second rest period. And maybe we'll just do, just for the sake of time, we'll just do 1 more set of that. So, and then we'll kind of come back and kind of debrief what I mean by reps and sets again. Here. Ready? Sit. Stand. Yes, good girl. Sit. Stand. Yes. I'm going to mix it up with her reward for the sit portion. Sit. Yes, good girl. So I want to make sure she knows that sit is rewarding as well. Stand. I think that's number 3. As I talk this through, none of these count. Sit. Stand. Sit. Stand. Good girl. Very nice. Back and forth, back and forth. Very good little puppy squat, back and forth. Happening really well. So, so that was 2 sets of 5 reps. And so why that's so important and why you need to kind of start marking this down. And even you could just take a journal right now and write this down for not only just what the workout I'm doing is, but when you do this with your dog, write down what your dog is able to do. And then maybe write down the difficulty level of that. So that way your dog, you can see like from week to week, maybe like on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult was that for your dog? Was it a 5? Was it an 8? Was it a 1 or 2? Like super easy. And see how much your dog tracks through that exercise. Because why that can be so quick, really incredibly important, it can be like a barometer for your dog. So it can be like an understanding of how your dog is feeling physically. So maybe you go do this workout one day and you get through 1 set, and when you go to your 2nd set, it's a struggle. But the past week you've done this 2 or 3 other times and your dog has nailed 2 sets easily. But the 2nd set for this day was a struggle. There may be something medically wrong or something physically wrong with your dog that might warrant you going to the vet. So super important little kind of puppy sit-up exercise. So now we're going to show you 1 more exercise, and that is going to be what we call puppy push-ups, and that's going to be a stand to down, down to stand behavior back and forth. I see we got a wonderful 18 viewers live, 20 viewers. Oh my gosh, it's bumping up. Thanks for likes and shares, guys, and sharing this with all your friends and family. Appreciate you guys being here today. So we're going to do a down, stand, good girl. Down, stand, down, stand, good job. And so that was 3 reps. So we're going to mix it up a little bit here. And just to kind of keep you guys on your toes a little bit. So that was 3 reps of puppy push-ups, going back and forth from a stand down, down to stand down, down to stand, and then like a little bit of like a 30-second break here, 20, 30-second break. These little rest periods are good to kind of make sure that they're just not zoning out, and just like us people, we need to kind of take little rest breaks too as well. So let's jump back into it. We're going to do another set of 3 puppy push-ups. Ready? Down. Oh, yeah, stand. Down. Stand. Down. Stand. Now we got a little bit of movement on the front. And we got to be aware of that. So we're got to be aware of that, all that movement that's happening. Could be hand positioning, could be something that I'm doing with my hands. Maybe I can help her out or assist more. Maybe I need to focus in on her and what she's doing with that. Because I need to be aware of that, because I want to make sure that I understand that maybe that whole compensating with that other foot isn't something that could not only lend itself to continue down the behavior, like keep going and you keep seeing it every time that she thinks she needs to move that paw every time, but also for me to know what the normal is super important, because when I see something abnormal, then I know maybe she is tired on that left front or right front of the paw she was moving, and I need to be aware of that situation really quickly. Okay, cool. You guys are doing awesome. And then comment down below if you have any questions. We are live here, so thank you guys for joining today. And I know this is just a little makeup session for the fact that we don't have Chrissy here right now to do the hiking. She's going to come back and we're going to do a hiking trip with you guys here on the Elevate Your Dog Summit. Probably a good thing too, with other going on, that we kind of pause for that in a moment, but keep your dogs working out in shape. So We did that for 2 sets. Let's do a third set. Let's see if we can kind of clean up the behavior a little bit. Down. Good girl. I'm going to do slower. Stand. Good. Let's make it a little bit more thoughtful, not so fast. Down. Good. So see, you want to slow it down. Stand. We get a little bit more, I would say, a stronger workout. Like I want her to like really think about her body. Down. Stand. Good. Nice job. So when it comes to canine fitness, this is huge and key. I want you guys to listen really closely. When it comes to canine fitness, I want you guys to know that it's not about speed. It's really about control of movement. Making sure your dog isn't just going straight through these reps and sets. You know, if you start seeing what you see with Jade, and Jade, hey Jade, Jade, being a border collie, she likes to go fast. So it's a constant awareness to make sure that she's under control throughout the exercise and being aware of that as much as possible. Now that I'm talking to you, I'm not necessarily as tuned in as I normally would be, but I would like you guys to be aware of that little mistake that I made with the fact that that second set that we did of the 3 reps was super fast, and it was too fast, and she was being sloppy. And so you want to calm it down, slow it down, and make it easier and more successful for her with this exercise. All right, so got your warm-up, you did your workout. Let's jump into cooling down. So what we're going to do is a simple exercise, it's called. Now, actually, when it comes to cooling down, surprisingly enough, the spins and the twists that we did during the warm-up, also the leg weaves, that can be a really good cooling down exercise. And in fact, with leg weaves, you can do something really tight, by keeping your legs closer together, move your legs a little further apart. You can do something a little bit longer, where the body has to extend a little bit more or collect a little bit more, depending on how far apart you move your legs. And then for a actual cool down, stretching dogs, you want to make sure they're pretty warmed up and their joints or their muscles aren't cold. So that way you don't accidentally injure them. So what you want to do is you want to take the nose level with their spine and start to do 1 of 3 points. 1 is the shoulder, then back to head. 1 is the chest, and back to head. And then 1 is the hip, and back to head. Now if your dog doesn't want to move their head all the way to that point, at one point, they may not be physically able to do that. They may not be able to physically manipulate their body to do that because they're not flexible enough to do that. So don't force a dog, don't crank their head physically to get to that stretch. Touch, Jade. Touch, yes, good girl. You can use a touch command if you needed to. Touch, Jade, touch. Touch, yes, good job. Jade, touch. Yes, good girl. And I kind of like that. I really like the whole using the touch versus using a lure, because I want the dog to know to move their head and to physically be aware of where their head's going versus me actually luring that behavior. Now, going back to everything else, I think ideally, in this situation, I showed a lot of luring. Ideally, if your dog could do any of the stuff that we showed you today, spin, twist, leg weaves, sit, stand, down, all that stuff, without you luring, that is ideal because I don't want the dog to have to use their nose just to follow the food around. I want them to be very aware of what's happening here and connecting with their body. So that's super important too. So that is everything that you guys could do to do a quick little 5-minute workout. We kind of extended it a little bit longer than 5 minutes to explain some things, but you can really easily kind of adjust those reps and sets in between. So just to review, we did 3 spin and twists going one direction. So circle left, circle right. We did 3 sets of leg weaves. Then we did 3 puppy squats for 2 sets. And then we went into 3, actually we did, sorry about that, I mixed that up. 5 puppy squats for 3 sets. And then we did, I know some of you guys are scratching, you guys are real angry at me right now. We did 3 puppy push-ups for 3 sets. So that's something for you guys to be aware of too. Now, those reps and sets can vary depending from dog to dog. What I find is for very beginner dogs, maybe overweight dogs particularly, for one, if your dog is overweight or has any medical issues at all, please consult a vet before doing any physical workouts with your dog. But the fact is that when your dogs are doing this exercise, you may find yourself doing one set of like 3 reps of any of these behaviors, and your dog, that's sufficient. Be aware of your dog. If your dog checks out, your dog doesn't want to do something, or maybe it's particularly if they've been doing something for a little bit and then they check out, or they are much slower than they were on a rep than they were like the first 3, that's a sign of fatigue. So be aware of that and don't push your dog past what they're comfortable with. We don't push dogs to do that. And make sure you give them plenty of cool down. Now, I should show you right now what's happening. Jade is over here laying down with her tongue out. That's what she does when she's really tired. So just that little mental and physical workout really stimulated a lot in her brain and her body. Now, we've done some other things today, so it's compounded on some other things we've done today, but it's really, really good. Any advice on getting dogs to get along? Good question, Christy. I will definitely tackle that towards the end of this broadcast. Those want to stick around. But we are going to do one last thing, and that is how to modify the stand to down to stand using a Fitbo. So those that maybe have a little more advanced elements to it, we can use this real quickly and modify that. Now, I showed this a little bit in a previous live stream with Chrissy Joy. So those that have seen this, I've done that. Now, 2 ways to modify it. I'm going to show you guys another way that you didn't see in the live stream last time. First off, when we work on a dog, we want to work on what's called flat work first, and that's what we just did for the last 15 minutes. It was flat work. Then we're going to work on our dog's front paws. Good girl. Then we're going to work on our dog's front paw awareness, and then rear paw awareness. So we just did stand down there, or sit stand there, little puppy squat. We're going to do down, stand, down, stand. That was a better one. I like that one better. So that's a way to modify that way. But also, another way you can modify this. I want you to watch something real quickly before we do. When I do this front paw, sit to stand, watch what happens with the back. Sit. It tucks in and pushes out. When we actually ask her to do this with her back paws instead, she's not going to be able to tuck those back paws in. She's going to do what's called a rock back sit instead. So sit, where she's rocking back, she's bringing the front to the back. So it's opposite. So this is almost like a new behavior for her. So be aware of that. Okay? Good job. There you go. Sit. Good. So be aware of that. When that's happening, that's a brand new behavior than what we were just doing before. Down. Good. Stand. Down. Down. I'm asking her to do it without the lure too much. Stand. Good job. Good job. Very good. Break. Good girlie. So that's another way you can modify this behavior. Thanks for joining you guys. As always here on the Elevate Your Dog Summit, if you guys enjoyed this broadcast, please give it a like, give it a share. Let me know in the comment section if you have any questions, even if you're watching this on replay. I know, Christy, we're going to jump into there and ask about that. In fact, Christy, if you don't mind, I'm actually going to go ahead and just pop over and chat with you one-on-one on Facebook and make sure I answer the questions directly, because that question in particular, any advice on dogs getting along, can be very specific to you. So I'm going to jump over there and ask you guys real quickly one-on-one about some details on that. So if any of you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, thanks for joining today. As always, have fun with your dogs, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.